Doom Omnibus, Doom Birthday, Doom 6, Doom. If I say Doom a lot, the video goes out to more people. You know I'm Pan, but do I have any preferences? I like primordial, Lovecraftian, unknowable things. In Date Everything, the first thing I dated was my own nightmares. How would I rank the Straw Hat Pirates? Number 1, Victor Von Doom. Number 2, Nico Robin. Number 3, everyone else. Number 4, Zorro. What is my favorite comic panel? I can't answer this, there are too many good ones, but the first one that came to mind was this one of Doom crashing out after Reed wishes him good luck. Honestly, read this whole exchange, it's all great. And it's like pages long, but like it's fantastic. It's a great crash out. Simple one, favorite movie. Already answered this, said The Breakfast Club, but I try not to repeat, so another good one, Pirates of Silicon Valley. What is the best episode of Game Changer in my opinion? Yes or no? Classic. Happy birthday. In the many worlds theory, could your consciousness change quantum states, somehow explaining things like the Mandela effect or deja vu? No, it can't. And the reason being is you're thinking of things in reverse. More complex things come about through simpler things. Quantum mechanics are some of the simplest things, the most microscopic things in existence. Our body, our brain, our consciousness comes about through quantum mechanics, which is really just how matter interacts with each other. There is no evidence whatsoever that our consciousness somehow affects quantum mechanics. Actually, it's the exact opposite. Quantum mechanics affects us. The reason why we say in the many worlds theory you could have an entirely different life is because there are quantum objects in your brain. There are radioactive ions in your brain. There are particles that quantumly interact in your brain. And if the many worlds interpretation is correct, that means those particles can be interacting in one way or another. And since both of those ways have to be true, then via cause and effect, that can cause you to behave in a certain way. You don't cause it to behave in a certain way. It causes you to behave in a certain way. Also, we don't fully understand it, but deja vu is pretty much well explained by just the temporal centers of our brain not really lining up well. And the Mandela effect is just you guys remembering shit wrong. Favorite type of milk, like chocolate or strawberry? Chocolate amaretto. It's good shit. Put a splash of vanilla in there. Ooh, good shit. This or that. What games have I been enjoying recently? Well, I really liked Donkey Kong Bonanza. I did dip my foot into the speedrunning pool, but I couldn't get much better than like 3 hours. Before that, I was playing Death Stranding. It was dope. I played No Sleep for Konami Date. It really feels like Uchikoshi wanted to make another Zero Escape game, but they had no money after they made 100 Line. And if that sentence made any sense to you, I want to be your friend. Happy birthday. Is Doom my favorite all-time villain? Let me think. I mean, he's definitely one of my favorite villains now. But, like, if we expand beyond comics, like, there's Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. That's a good one. What's my favorite way to drink coffee? Light, sweet, and with a syrup from my coffee bar. What are my preferred colors in Magic the Gathering? Rakdos, black and red. I mean, really, the answer is anything that wins. I like the Hell Circus. What can I say? Have I heard of Warhammer 40k? I have, but I've never been able to get into it. It is very expensive, takes a lot of time, and you gotta find a local game store that, runs events for it. Recently, the partner of one of my friends, has been searching for people to get into it, so, I might get into it through him. But it's just one of those things, I haven't had the time or money. I have heard a lot of the lore through, TikTok videos and, other shit, basic cultural osmosis. But I don't know enough to form an opinion. I'm sorry. If you guys are big into Warhammer, give me an elevator pitch in the comments or link me to a TikTok that gives me an overview or, I don't know, do an overview yourself and stitch this video. I'd love to get into it. What is one fact about Doom that I haven't had the chance to share yet? This is because a lot of people keep asking me, why doesn't he hate Sue Storm? Why doesn't he hate Ben Grimm? His hate is Reed Richards' focus. It's not necessarily Fantastic Four focused. In fact, he's led the Fantastic Four several times. In fact, Ben Grimm hates him more than he hates Ben Grimm. He kind of likes Ben Grimm. And he currently has a working and relatively healthy relationship with Sue and Johnny. And Reed, well, it's getting there. We'll see how One World Under Doom ends. Happy birthday. Your question is, what about people who don't want to own a house and would rather rent? In an ideal world and society, how would this be accomplished without being exploitative? Well, the big question is, why don't you want to own a house? Is it because you don't want the responsibility of upkeeping that house? In a society with flat hierarchies, you could still pay someone to upkeep that house. It's just they don't exploit you and you don't exploit them. No one's making a profit. Divorce your mind from the concept of property ownership, to begin with, right? What advantages does renting give you? Is it that someone else gets to fix your apartment? Then you just instead own your place like you normally would, and you get a specialist to fix your apartment. All that money that would be going into rent would be going into just paying that specialist to do the stuff. So instead of a property owner getting all of that rent money and then trying to stiff you on a repair job, you just pay all the money to the repair man to do the good job. If I could destroy a concept or create one, what would I do? Like, they get taken out of reality? I mean, fuck. I mean, I destroy, I don't know, capitalism, billionaires, take your pick. Have I ever played Red Dead Redemption 2? I have. I liked it. And if you haven't seen the glitch where you could throw dynamite right before a scene and then end up talking to someone with no head, that's hilarious. I'm also a huge Persona fan, so I've played Metaphor, I've played all the Personas, I've even played Persona 1 and 2, I have seen Hitler with sunglasses, plus I love the other Shin Megami Tensei titles as well. Devil Summoner's great, Digital Devil Saga's great, all the Raito games. Soul Hackers was okay. What got me into comics and what video games do I play? The thing that got me into comics wasn't comics themselves. I was in grammar school, and on the playground, people were trading Marvel trading cards. They had like the info of the characters on the back of them, and they seemed super cool. And I collected those cards for a bit, and then of course I wanted to read about those characters. As for what sort of video games I play, I've said this before, RPG, narrative puzzle games, and fighting games mostly. But I also like genres like Metroidvanias. I'll play multiplayer shooters if I have a regular group. I've played League before because I hate myself. What piece of sci-fi tech do I wish was real, but it can't be from Star Trek? Now, do you mean Star Trek can't have done it, or like Star Trek can't have originated it? Because like matter replicators existed well before Star Trek, like read Heinlein. And that'd be my pick, but Star Trek also has matter replicators. If I have to think of something that Star Trek hasn't done, Buttergun. What's my favorite birthday dessert / treat? I am a big fan of carrot cake. Maybe that makes me a weirdo, but just like a good carrot cake with good cream cheese icing, it's great. Is there any science I'm interested in other than the political sciences? It's not marine biology, although I do like marine biology. I like most sciences, but I'm mostly a slut for physics. In college, that's the most, like, exposure I had. Like, I was able to go and, like, work in physics labs and stuff. And most of the people I knew, you know, in my friend circle were physicists or, like, related to physicists. But I do like marine biology. The deep oceans are fucking weird. How many games and consoles do I own, and what are my favorites? Well, here's the problem. I've played a lot of consoles over my life, but I haven't spoken with my family in 10 years, so most of my childhood consoles are gone. I own a Wii, a Wii U, a Switch 2, a PS3, a PS4, a PS5, a PS Vita, a DS, a 3DS, a Steam Deck, a gaming PC, and that's basically it. For all the game consoles that I've had access to, like, you know, owned but were lost in moves or, like, lost to my family, I also had an Xbox, an Xbox 360, a GameCube, an N64, an SNES, an NES, a Dreamcast. I skipped the Saturn, but, you know, I'm still a big fan of Saturn games. A Genesis, a Master System. I also had the 32X and Sega CD. And the very first console that my parents ever had was the Intellivision. Of course, I had access to old DOS computers. How many games I own? I can't tell you, dude. My Steam library alone is over 2,000 games. I downloaded a game aggregator that can aggregate from, like, my digital PS5 games and my digital Switch games, and, like, it was over 5,000 games. And that doesn't even count the games that I owned as a child. So, lots. My favorite console is still the SNES, and my favorite game is still Chrono Trigger. What is your favorite color? I'm gonna say your favorite color is manatee. Look it up. It's a Crayola thing. Happy birthday. Given that mutants are coming to the MCU soon, do you think Magneto could work without him being a Holocaust survivor? I genuinely do not think so. I think the problem is when you steep a villain's motivations in their trauma, I think that trauma has to be real. Like, the whole reason that Magneto acts the way he does is because he does not want to experience that sort of persecution ever again. So that's important. You have to go through that. Like, not to bring this back to Doctor Doom, but that's why Doctor Doom on the big screen has always kind of fucking sucked. Because he never had clear motivations. He just kind of did bad things and shot lightning at people. Without Magneto being a Holocaust survivor, Like, what is there left? What are his motivations? I don't know. I think it's important.